And I think that the motivation for me is really winning. Like, I love winning.
The Assumption Greyhounds are your Northeast 10 Conference champions again for the first time since 2021.
This is more than just a show. This is a space for people looking to push past limitations. Here, we offer valuable lessons in confidence, perseverance, and unlocking your full potential. This is a part of my senior capstone project at Assumption University. Welcome to the Game Plan for Growth. Last week, we had Assumption University's field hockey captain of the squad, Jill McSweeney. She gave us an explanation on the art behind setting boundaries, seeking validation from others, and feeling secure within yourself. She narrowed into the conversation about how this mindset transformed her life and her overall health, wellness, and happiness. If you've ever found yourself seeking constant approval from others, fearing judgment, and the art behind setting boundaries without feeling guilty, go give the last episode a listen. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the final episode of the Game Plan for Growth, where we talk about personal growth, leadership, and all in between. I'm Cally, your podcast host, and today we have someone I am especially excited about, the incredibly accomplished Coach Annie Lahey. Head coach of the Assumption University team for the past 13 seasons, Coach Lahey took over a struggling program who hardly won one game in a season at Assumption and turned it into the team to beat in Division II field hockey, who hardly loses one game. Her program turnaround was considered a monumental point, earning much respect from other coaches in the league. Coach Lahey has built not just a successful program, but a culture rooted in resilience, growth, and good vibes. Her work with female athletes has made a lasting impact both on and off the field. Now the current field hockey team running off an undefeated regular season, conference championship, and a consistent yearly return to the NCAA tournament, Coach Lahey looks to return once again as top dogs. Personally reflecting on my final season of field hockey, I have experienced so many leaders in the head coach position. Pulling from all my experience, it is safe to say Coach Lahey understands the art and psychology behind leadership, making her one of the best around. Is it the master's degree in theological studies from Vanderbilt? This is where we find out. Coach, could not be more honored to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be a part of this.
This is so exciting. I do want to start with the heart of what you do, leadership. So you have led generations of athletes through their highs and lows. In those tough moments, my first question is, what's your general approach to keeping your girls motivated and helping them overcome limited beliefs?
I think that when you look at, I can't believe it's been now, it will be my 14th season coming up, and I feel like that is, that's crazy to hear, because I think back to those times where it was tough, where we were struggling to win a couple games. We're having an alumni game coming up on the 25th, and I'm very excited about it, but I see those girls coming back, and I look at those records, and you know, there were some significant losses in those, but it didn't feel that way.
Right.
I think anytime you suffer a defeat of any kind, the biggest thing that you need to do is use it. And I know it's kind of cliche, but like there are no really losses that you experience. If you learn from them, you are in a better place. And I like to look at it as motivation. So any of the tough times that we do struggle with, obviously this past year, winning a conference championship, but losing a heartbreaker to advance to the Final Four, I feel like it's given us a huge amount of purpose going into this spring. I mean, it breaks my heart for you seniors because I wanted it for you so bad. But I think that it's given us a huge amount of motivation, and using those opportunities to get the most out of your players and commit to a new level of excellence has always been something that I feel like we do well.
Yeah, and I think that definitely reflects on the girls on our team. Like, I had Paige in my first episode, and she said something like, mistakes are just things you learn from. So, like, nothing actually is wrong of what you did. You just learn from them. And that could go the same way with losing, is that you're actually just learning from them. Like, you have to have that happen to get better.
Absolutely. Honestly, my most stressful season was 21, where we won 20 games in a row. I felt like I just wanted to, like, stay out of the way. I
The target
lost
was on your forehead.
Yes, and I lost so much weight that season because I just was like, don't screw it up, and I just wanted to let them exist. But I feel like when you do struggle and you may stumble a bit, it's almost as a coach, okay, now I know what to do. When you just keep on winning in that particular year, I was just like,
you would never know how to handle those moments if you didn't lose that many games or whatever in the years before. And I think that challenging like internal narratives that each girls have is one of the hardest things to overcome as a female athlete, which is a whole different podcast. But you have 20 individual female athletes on your team, so clearly you have built a program that goes beyond wins and losses. In your own words, what is your team culture currently, and how did you develop that?
I feel like that when I come back, people ask a lot of, even in the recruiting process, that's like, I think club coaches have told their kids to ask, like, what is your culture? I struggle a little bit to define it because I feel like it shifts year to year. But the main thing that we focus on and that I harp on is grit. Like, we are gritty. Like, we are going to outwork you. Yeah. And field hockey is a game of effort. Like, it really is. Yeah. You will see stat sheets that are, 22 shots to 7 shots, and the team with 7 shots won. And it's clearly that was a lopsided game, but you can win a field hockey game just with sheer motivation. And I think that's kind of where I come into play. And I've been lucky enough to have people buy in and believe in what they can do. Yeah. But grit is first and foremost for us. We're gonna be tougher than you. We're gonna fight harder than you. And that has nothing to do with the game of field hockey. That has to do with the inner person. And I feel like I hate to use the word cult, but yes, a little bit. Like, we all buy in.
It's standards.
It is. It's standards. It's values. It's you're going to work really hard in the classroom. You're going to know that you represent more than just you, and that we are together growing. And I feel like that togetherness is another part of our culture.
Yeah, it's like a morale. And I think on our team, it's like when one girl's down, she's only down for maybe a few hours or so, or in a game, it's like a minute, and some girl goes over there and lifts her back up. So I think that's obviously learned from who we're taught by, and that's coaching, Izzy, you, even, seniors or graduate students who we'd had. Mostly, you've had a lot of grad students recently. Everyone wants to come back.
I know. I feel really lucky. It's like it's great that we have the opportunity for that here, and I think that especially when you get people that are from another program that come in and they get to see who we are. I mean, Athena Como is a great example of. She just was like, "Oh my God, this is so much fun." I think that's part of our culture too. Is like, I want to have fun. You guys want to have. I mean, winning is fun, but also being together and who we are. I want you guys to shine as individuals and your different, brands of humor. And I always say we're going to laugh as hard as we run, and I think that's true.
Well, it's so hard to walk away from a group of girls that are just uplifting, positive, really funny, make everything fun, and I think that's probably like the hardest I have walking away from being a senior. But
well, it's hard to let you walk away because I feel like only having you for 2 years was just unfair. What you brought to our team in terms of just effort, and you're a workhorse, man, and I think you are going to be very hard to replace.
Yeah, and I think about the times when I first came in that spring, and I was like, these girls are hard workers. They want it. They want it too, and this is going to be fun. I knew it was going to be fun. The grass was greener, so happy. But speaking of growth, coaching requires you to evolve as well. So how do you invest in your growth to level up and inspire in your own coaching journey?
Field hockey's funny because I feel like it's always evolving, and you have new rule changes every so often where you're like, okay, I remember from when I was playing to now, it's an entirely different game. Yeah. And so I think that forces a coach to either learn and evolve or get left behind. I think that I love the sport. I think it's such a cool sport. It's unusual. Obviously, here in America, it's not the most popular sport, but I think we get a lot of fans to our games, and everyone obviously has questions about the rules and all that stuff. Yeah. But if you can get past that, you see,
I think it's so fun.
It is.
Everyone that comes to our games, we have such a good culture at our games, but everyone loves it. They don't even know what's going on half the time, but it's exciting.
It is.
When you see hardworking girls out there, I think that's the best thing to watch.
And you see how tough we are. And again, going back to I want kids that are tough, who can handle it, and who are going to play harder than other people. I think that is very cool. But as far as like, I have the coaching community in field hockey is very small,
Right.
and so I have great friends that we're always bouncing ideas off each other, sharing drills. I think you can get kind of stuck in the mud, and I have a panic every preseason where I'm like, do I know how to coach this game? Like, do I know any new drills? Like, how can I still make it fun? And I think because I'm always thinking about it, I dream about it, and I come up with crazy drills, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But I feel like you guys, the team's always willing to give it a try, and the open minds allow for me to kind of grow and try new things and change formations and then change them again.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think if you're a stubborn coach, I don't think you're going to survive, and I think that's the end all be all. You always got to be learning, reevaluating. So,
and knowing that, like, I'm not always right. I know that, and
yeah,
that's
a really rare quality.
Well, and
for someone to have.
I
too.
don't have an ego when it comes to coaching. I feel like the players, you guys are out there. You guys are working the hardest. You're going to tell me what is looking like it's working and where we need to. And so that's why I meet with you guys and ask for
and
your opinion.
You know how that reflects is the girls actually come to your office all the time.
It's almost too much. I'm just kidding.
I've never been to a coach's office that much. Like, it is but it's so good. It's so good. It's a time of reflection, getting better, or I don't know, even just sitting down and talking about something stupid.
Exactly. I think like it's like in season, obviously, like people come into my office, I'm like glued to my computer watching film, and then I'll watch film with people, and it will just be like that much more of a time to hang out and get to know each other and grow together.
But that's so important to have with a coach. I think that like having that even safe space or someone that you can just go to is really important.
I used to call my office the crying office because like everybody would just walk in and just start sobbing for like,
maybe
one
it's not even
reason.
about feel like
No, it's not. It's usually about something else. And but I never have tissues because, well, you cleaned my office yesterday and you know what it looks
we did.
like.
We did, everyone.
Thank you.
On a related note, though, motivation can be tough to sustain, especially during challenging seasons, which we just mentioned, on or off the field, too. So what helps you stay motivated and locked in?
I feel like I'm just obsessed with this sport, and I'm obsessed with like growing our team's confidence. And how to, like, every year it's a different puzzle. Every year it's a different group of girls. Even if like we're not graduating a ton, it's still going to be a different dynamic because you have new people coming in. Figuring out how to manage a team is part of really a chunk of what I'm doing throughout the season. And for me to stay motivated, it's just on a constant loop in my head. And I don't know whether that makes me like psychotic or whatever, but like I'm thinking about it all the time. I will replay. I can still see plays in my mind from years past that could have been different or that were perfect. And I think that the motivation for me is really winning. Like, I love winning. And so no matter how we're trying to get there, and if like we talked about earlier with, stumbling here and there, learning from that and making them better, it's always that next game. There's always that next practice. And for me, I feel lucky that this is my job and I get to do that.
Yeah, well, it's passion.
Yes.
And when you find a passion, it's hard to, lessen it or something, push it away. So it almost becomes you. And I think when you join Assumption Field Hockey, it becomes you. And we all have it tattooed on our foreheads. Like,
I know.
No, and I think it's all across our team. And I think the girls that show up and have that passion, the results come and we win.
Yes. Absolutely. It is. And I think, too, you'll see, those are the girls that are coming back. Those are the girls, like, right. I literally cannot wait for next Friday because it's like, it is a who's who of Assumption Field Hockey. And
every
I can't wait
star.
for you to meet them.
Yeah.
Every star, everybody that, I've always in my mind put together the team throughout the ages. And I'm, like, so pumped. And so is my husband, Kevin. He's very excited.
Shout out other Coach Kevin.
Yeah, other Coach Kevin. He keeps me grounded. Like, he really does. We talk through things, and he does claim responsibility for some of my successes. However, I give him some of the credit, but.
Well, I talked about that last episode with Jill, and we were just talking about how like the support system around you actually matters so much. And I think reflecting on all of our wins and your success, like you've built this environment of goodness. just like everyone around you is great, and that's why we're so great. You're so great. Thanks, Kevin. So
yes, exactly. And honestly, I think about like my own family and like what they how important the fall is for them, and they just know. And my friends, my close friends, like they know. They're like, I always go to dinner with one of them like right before preseason. She's like, okay, see you in November, and they understand, and like they'll send me texts. They just know that I'm so locked in to our progress and what we're doing. There's not a lot of space for other things.
Well, I want people to understand what you actually do in the fall. You focus on the current players.
Yeah.
You're doing practices. You're focusing on the next game, and you're recruiting.
Yes.
And you're responding to emails from recruits.
Yes.
And you're, sending alumni emails.
Yep.
And all of the dealing with literally all of our BS.
Yeah.
Like,
and the honestly, what always when you're listing off those things, the thing that stresses me out the most is always the food. Like wanting to make sure that you guys are well fed when we are away is the most stressful part.
Yeah.
Of like finding what restaurants, like that kind of thing. I don't know why, for whatever reason.
Yeah, no,
it stresses me out, and like going to the grocery store.
It's kind of out of your control when you're ordering something because you're like, all right, the food's going to be here at 8:00 right after our SNU game. Like, it better be here.
Exactly.
We have 20 hangry girls getting on a bus after whatever the game was.
Exactly. And I like the amount of bananas I've thrown away or given away, and just apples. I know you guys will never look at peanut butter in the same way. I feel like there's been a lot of that, but I feel like it's, and I'm so lucky to have Izzy to help me, and so she's incredible, and she also is a stabilizing force in my life,
right?
And so I feel like she's really grown.
Yeah, Izzy is so important to you. I hope she never leaves Worcester.
I know.
Izzy,
literally kidnap her.
Do not leave. No, because she's so great, because I look up to her because she's almost right about everything.
Yeah.
I think because she was such a reflective player. Like, she was gritty. She got the work done. She put in the work, and she held people to those standards, and actually was a good friend. I mean, her and Mia and Paige are best friends.
Exactly.
So I think that's really cool. And exciting to see, especially when I came in and I was like, oh, I like this assistant coach lineups. And I loved Riley.
I know. And she's the best. And I feel like, assistant coaches come in and out of your life because of it's a transient job. Yeah. Like you're going to always be moving around and that kind of thing. And I feel like Izzy being stable here, I hope she never wants to, go live somewhere else or try, and
never move on.
Move on. But I am so appreciative of her, and she is a great sounding board. And I feel like she's part of what really helps me be who I can be, and talks me off the ledge. And we work through a lot of details of I trust her opinion. She's always been one of the smartest players. And
I do too.
To see what she can bring to the field, I think she's growing as a coach. And I think, I give her a lot of credit for what she's done to make us where we're at. And even when she was playing for me, her 5th year, she was basically a coach. And I feel like she's just been such a huge, she was the most underrated player in the NE10.
I believe it.
That girl, I mean, you saw her, she played it against, she went full field with us the other week, and it's like just some of the sickest handles.
She knows the game so well.
She
too.
does.
Like, whenever, thinking of hectic games, like, she would help you with those last second decisions. And I think she's always been pretty good at that. And she's calm.
Oh my gosh, so calm.
I'm like, no way Izzy was like whatever on the field when she played, because she does not yell. She's super calm. She's super straightforward. And when I come off the field of halftime, and she'll be like, you can't do that. Stop doing that. Do that instead. And I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I know.
Like, well done. Change of game. I play better. Thank you, Izzy.
I feel like she and I make a really good team.
No, awesome team.
It's great.
There is no better.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people listening can apply all these beyond sport. So for everyone listening who doesn't know our team personally, it's a team full of 20-ish absolute free spirits. So when we talk about the different personalities on a team, every athlete brings something unique to the table. So how do you manage all these different energies and large personalities in a way that creates this cohesive one unit?
I think that it is hard. It's hard. And you don't want anyone to get kind of swallowed up by the intensity of who we are. But I think it starts with listening. Like, as a coach, I think getting people into my office and really kind of figuring out, because in the recruiting process, everybody's putting on their best face. Everybody's, telling you what you want to hear. They want to come here. And so I once they're here, during preseason, I feel like I get to know them a little bit better. And over the course of a full year, I think that's where people's personalities really come out. Their voices start. So giving freshmen a little bit of grace as they navigate through that first year, because the spring is just so incredible to see them develop as players, as humans. Like, you start to hear them and their voices on the field. But also, I think always making that connection of like, I value you as a person, and having them make sure they understand that and know that, and that if they're having a tough time, like, you want to involve me because I can help you, and not see me as an authority figure, but as somebody who can also be there to help you navigate school. If you need to get to the tutoring center, if you're just overwhelmed and we need to talk counseling, whatever it might be, I feel like that is the baseline for really kind of allowing people to be who they are. And then, I think maybe the girls see that I respond well to like funny people, and like if you can make me laugh, like that's good. That's a good thing. And everybody enjoys like having that kind of banter and that fun quality. And they can also, I feel like I'm good at sort of like, if things are getting a little bit too funny, like, and we need to get serious, I feel like they're good at picking up on my facial expressions, although not so much since Botox. But I feel like you can all kind of understand when I'm coming to practice. We know when we need to buckle down, and we know when we can kind of let loose. And sometimes the best moments are when we're trying to buckle down, but end up letting loose. And I feel like it's just knowing that, like,
because we're having so much
fun. Exactly. I feel like we really do have a ton of fun. And
fun.
if you're not having fun, and like this isn't the place for you, like, if you're not getting our humor, if you're not understanding that, like, we'll get serious and we'll get down to winning, but like, it's okay to breathe.
We are really intense, and I think, but in all areas, like our personalities are all intense, our humor's intense, and we play intense.
Like, I feel like all of us are kind of like just.
I know. I made a joke the other day, and I was like, you guys, I don't know if we're good or bad for each other, because we just all come together, and it's like this higher power. When we are all together.
It's special. It really is. And I think about like our locker room and the traditions that we do in there. And like, I think about the insanity of a pregame and what goes into my speech. Like, I always have something written out, and you know I always go.
Beautiful every time.
Thank you so much.
It seriously is. You need to start writing for the president.
I never know.
You need to start writing speeches for the president of the United States.
But I never know if I'm like in those moments. You can always like, I hope to see like the intensity of people's eyes, and like, I hope to see it like as we transition to warm up, and I always feel like, am I hitting the mark, or am I completely like on another planet? But I do feel like it jives. We jive together, and I always hope that I'm able to reach inside your soul, pull it out, and put it on the field.
Yeah, and I think I was talking with the senior class, and this season was just so healing, because, and I think for them too, like Mia, Paige, and Cally, and Lee and Lo, like reaching down to the freshmen and having conversations with them, talking to them, being friends with them, and wanting to help them. I think this was really healing for us, because maybe we didn't really get that. And it's kind of like, that's the environment that we've made, and that's a winning environment, is that we want to help everyone and help the younger ones.
And I think recognizing too that like in all the fun that we're having, it doesn't mean it's not gonna be hard. And I think that's something that like you don't realize until you're here playing at the college level, how difficult it is, and how difficult it is to get into the lineup and then to keep that position. And I think it's hard to play a game of field hockey. It's intense, and you're uncomfortable, physically uncomfortable. I mean, what you did, like just what I just think about like the runs that you would make up the field to be there for Elle, who is lightning fast. And you were
faster with the ball. She's way faster with the ball.
It's crazy. And I feel like those are the things that like, it hurts to be good. And it's not a bad thing. It's like you're going to grow from it. And it also means that like, not everybody's going to want that either.
Yeah. No one, it's literal passion. And that's flat out passion.
Passion, effort, like that is the biggest thing.
Yeah. And what I think is so impactful is your human first approach. So when your athletes graduate and move on, what do you hope they carry with them from their time with you?
Be tough.
Yeah.
Be tough. Like, it doesn't get any easier. If you thought this was hard, your life is not going to be any easier. I mean, physically, hopefully not as draining, but you don't know,
No,
I think that you'll be able to take all the lessons that you have learned as far as stumbles and being able to understand and learn from them, but also like to remember back. I want you to remember back and remember the amazing times that we had and really think fondly of them and come back and come see our games and support our teams. And I feel like that connection is so amazing. And like and the fact that I still have connections with those girls too is like it's awesome. Like, don't let those fade. But I think really taking the toughness that you have displayed over 4 years to then bring it to your job, like, everybody's going to want you to be on their team. Right. Everybody's going to want you to be successful because you're going to work for it. And I don't think that, we don't walk onto the field and just get things. You have to take it from other people. And how many times have I said that during games? Like, they're not going to give you the win. You have to take it from them.
Well, I think one of our most successful qualities is even if we're walking into it and playing a team that maybe is the bottom in the records, we still go in like it's any other game. You still come in with the even more intense speech. Like, it's still the same process. It's just a different team, different outcome, but it's still the same process, and it's just like full grind until we get to the end.
I fear the parity of this league. I feel like anyone can be anyone. I've seen it happen over the course of the last decade and a half. I've seen it happen where you have the last ranked team in this conference beat the first ranked team because that team thought they were going to come in and just walk all over them. It's not the case. This is a crazy game. So I feel like if you're not prepared and you take anything for granted, you will get screwed.
Yeah, and this is a game of whoever shows up will win that day.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you can see it start to happen if, like, we start to, like, just come in a little cocky, and I've seen it, and it's like, oh, no, ladies, let's refocus. And I feel like we've been able to fix it, but those are the scary games.
Oh, yeah. So one last question, though. Do you expect anything in return when you give so much of yourself as a coach?
I honestly don't. I expect people to give me their maximum effort.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of bare minimum. It's bare minimum is that because everyone's doing that. If you're not doing that, like, definitely go.
or like, if you don't do that, then you're not going to get the outcomes that you dreamed of. But that's where you learn that if you don't put in maximum effort, you're not going to get that. And
I think too that giving maximum effort doesn't necessarily result in you getting a starting position or you do it's for you, for us, for our team, maximum effort.
It's a different journey for everyone.
And I think that's the biggest thing is that if you can rest your head on your pillow at night knowing that you gave everything to that day, then you're good. Like, you can be happy with that. Yeah. Because you can never guarantee results. It's just what you can control you. Yeah. But I think as far as like anything in return, like, play your hardest. Like, just give me your best, and sometimes the best is going to win, and sometimes your best is going to lose. But I think that's all I can ask for. And then after the fact, like, just stay in touch, man. I miss you guys. You guys get so sad that you're leaving. I get so sad that you're leaving. Like, it kills me. It I grieve those players. And just they're like I'm gonna miss you guys so much, and I want you guys to know that you will be missed, and that you've left an impact, you've left a legacy, and I think knowing that you did that, just always remember the times that we had and the craziness, because I'm not sure you'll be able to match it anywhere.
Probably
I
not.
hope
I'll look for it for the rest of my life.
Absolutely, that's what we always talk about too. You'll look for this feeling for the rest of your life, and it's a good feeling to look for.
Yeah. Well, this perspective is why I was so excited to have you on today. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your insights, stories, and wisdom. I know our listeners are going to walk away with so many valuable takeaways on leadership, resilience, and what it means to help others unlock their full potential. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
This is for everything I hope for and more. Coach, thank you so much for not only joining us today, but for the work you do every single day, shaping athletes into strong, confident, and resilient women, where the majority of your players leave your program better than when they came on and off. To everyone listening, whether you're an athlete, coach, leader, or just someone navigating your own journey of growth, remember this: leadership is just about showing up with intention, believing in others, even when they doubt themselves, and being willing to evolve right alongside them. If you found today's episode helpful, be sure to share it with someone who might need it. This is the final episode of the Game Plan for Growth. If there is one thing I learned, it's that growth is uncomfortable, leadership is layers, and success isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Thanks for tuning in. Keep growing, keep leading, and as always, trust your game plan.